Hi everybody, welcome back to Zugzwang and to Tierlist Tuesday.
Hey.
Yeah, I got with me wonderful Ben, as usual, and the other better Niklas, Mr. Frog himself. And well, yeah, today we're doing the hype video, the hype topic. We are making a brand new tier list of all the 40k factions for the new meta that comes from the Dataslate and points update we've had last Friday. We've already made a video reviewing all of the changes that happened there and our first impressions of this, so you can check that out if you want to see more. Today, though, we're doing the only thing that matters, the only objectively true tier list anywhere on the internet. Don't listen to any other channels. They all don't know what they're talking about. We are the only objective, true opinion. And feel free to tell us why we are the best, in fact, in the comments once you see our assessments. I'm sure not a single person will disagree with us.
Nope.
Yeah, right? I mean, you think so too, right, Ruggy Ben?
Yes.
Of
As
course.
everyone knows, here at Zugzwang, we have already played at least 100 games with the new data slate.
With each faction.
With each faction. So we have very well-founded opinions. We have all the insights. We know all the matrices. Easy.
Yep. And it's especially internally, we all agree on everything completely. There are never disagreements on what
we have
faction
never
is the
disagreed on
strongest.
anything.
Quod erat demonstrantum.
All right. Ben, I don't want to do the ad reads and everything today, so take it away. Hit us up.
Yes, once more, we are sponsored by Fantasy Welt, an online shop in Germany. Yes, we've got the link down below. So if you plan to buy something for our wonderful hobby, just visit the store via the link. It will support us, and we are very thankful for that. And additionally, if you like the video, please like, subscribe, and click the bell to get more notifications for our future videos. We will keep making our Zugzwang report, our bi-weekly podcast in German for our German viewers, but we try to make some special videos like tier lists or reviews in English to reach a broader audience.
That's exactly right. Okay, everyone. I think not much further ado. Let's jump right in it. We've got a lot of factions to cover and a lot of discussions to be had. So we've prepared this lovely little tier list. There's not much to explain about it. We have the usual. We have 5 tiers from S to D. We'll see how true the S tier parts are, how much the difference is between them and A. We've got all the factions here. We're going through it from Loyal, Xenos, and then to Chaos, alphabetically each. And yeah, one thing we have to figure out is, will we do an internal ranking inside of the categories? I always like to do it, but maybe we start filling them in, and then at the end we can give the little final sharpening to figure out the exact positions inside the individual brackets.
Yes,
I agree.
Perfect.
I think
Okay.
we could also switch during our discussion when we say, okay, maybe the faction we ranked in A tier is maybe not A tier. Maybe it belongs to top B or something like that.
Absolutely. Okay, everyone. Then, without further ado, let's jump right in. Our first faction, starting off with a banger, AdMech. Got a lot of changes in the data slate. We've discussed them quite detailedly in the last video. Where do we think these guys will end up? Starting with Ben.
I think AdMech got a really, really good buff, or several really good buffs. I don't think it was weak before. You had to be a very hard faction specialist to pilot it well, but now you got even better tools, not more tools, but better tools. And I think I would rank AdMech straight to the A tier.
Yeah,
Maybe not top of A, but right now the only A.
A as AdMech, yeah, I do agree. I think from the hype level that came from the data slate, some people might even make an argument to put them into S tier. I think I will stay with A for now, just because there's, they have to prove it.
Yeah, in my mind, S tier belongs to the top 1 to maybe 3 armies that define the meta.
Yeah.
In my head, there's only one faction for S tier right now. But yeah,
Okay.
we'll come to this.
Oh,
later.
Death Guard? Okay, fair enough.
Yeah. No, Black Templars. By the way, Fritschen, if you go on this beautiful tier maker site and go down a bit and switch to landscape mode, then things will look even better. Not square images, but landscape. No, square images. Yep. Landscape. Excellent.
Beautiful.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you so much, better Niklas.
I do agree with this. With AdMech and A, we'll see where they land in the end.
Maybe real quick, just another thing we hadn't said it before. We are ranking this assuming this is someone who really understands AdMech.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we always say we look at someone who knows the faction, who can play it at a high level. So I feel like with AdMech, some other factions as well, like a beginner with it might struggle for a little while, but we're thinking, what is the top potential? Like if a real strong player picks this up, invests the time in games, and then tries to perform with them. So yes, just that. Well, next up, because I also agree with A, might even be S, but definitely strong there. Agents of the Imperium. Well, going from the very top, maybe to one of the bottom factions we have here. I'll take this one at first. I believe there's very few armies in the game right now that could be classified as D tier. But if there is a faction that belongs in D tier, I think it's actually Agents. I believe when they first released, they were quite playable and maybe like bottom C. But I feel like the metagame and the other armies have become a lot stronger. And especially this kind of cute little, I'm somewhat durable, I have decent OC and tricks that worked like a year ago, really isn't working anymore.
No.
And I don't see a way Agents can even win a game against like high level enemies at all, to be honest.
Yeah, straight to
Fully
D.
agree.
So sorry.
Sorry, Agents players.
Yeah, I'm really sorry, but no discussion there. Straight to the bottom you go. Sorry about that. All right, next up, Astra Militarum. Froggy, what's your opinion on this?
Astra is a weird one. I think Astra is regularly seen in team events. Like WTC, several top nations had Astra Militarum. At the Eurotrash Cup we were at just last weekend, at least 2 of the top teams had Astra Militarum. Well, 3 even. Kings of the Hill also brought them. But I think it's more of a team kind of army. In singles, I don't rate them that highly. They have these like recon or combined approaches that kind of can play reasonably into everything, but it doesn't feel like a tournament winning army to me. So even though they are played quite a bit, I think I would put them in B tier.
Yeah,
what do you guys
Ben?
think?
I don't want to disrespect Astra Militarum, but my initial gut feeling is also low B tier, maybe even top C, depending on how crowded the B will end up. Because it wasn't a top competitive army at single tournaments. There are players that can pilot it pretty good or pretty well, but now Gaunt's Ghosts got cheaper, but the Dorans got more expensive, so they are 10 to 20 points even more they have to squeeze out of their army list. So I don't think the data slate was in favor of Astra. So
Yeah, I agree, especially since I feel like the data slate mostly buffed armies. I have a feeling like there's a lot of buffs to many places, or like slight nerfs only. So I also feel like Astra definitely didn't improve and maybe even fell back a bit more, depending on how the meta really shapes up. I feel like maybe on GW boards, like Rogue Dawns can perform better, but also those got more expensive. So, that got punished harder. So I'm also happy. Maybe let's put them in B for now, but I could also see them falling down to C tier depending on how the final picture looks. I'm fully on board.
It's fair.
Well, bringing us from B tier to Blood Angels, one of the first of our Codex not compliant Space Marine factions. Very curious to see where you think this lands, and maybe Ben, you can start us off.
Me, but Froggy is Blood Angels play.
You can give the point to Froggy too.
I will start. I think to reach out a little bit, all of the Space Marine factions are really, really good, and I think that Blood Angels belong in A tier, maybe behind AdMech. Because when I think it through, I don't know if I would rank any Marine faction in B tier. Because they're all good, they're all playable. Maybe some have their weaknesses, but Blood Angels is very potent, very fast melee army. And yeah, I think it's, in my opinion, it's straight into A tier.
Yeah, that's very fair. I think we've talked about this before a couple of times, that like the Space Marine core, basically I have my mission pieces in terms of scouts, intercessors, combat lieutenants, assault jump back intercessors. I have my shooting pieces that I can swap and match how I want, be it ballistas, predators, vindicators, gladiator lancers, whatever, right? And then I can see, okay, what type of melee units do I want, or what type of support units do I want? And then I look at, do I prefer like Thunderwolf Cavalry? Do I prefer like Sangard and faster jump packs? Do I want Deathwing Terminators? Right? Like you kind of look at what package do I prefer to use with this core? And it's hard to drop below 80. I agree on that.
They've got a small nerf, maybe, with the Sangard getting a better weapon skill, but also a points hike. And some Blood Angels players played Blade Guard, which got a 10 points hike for the 6-man squad, but I don't think that pushes this army out of A tier.
I do agree on Blood Angels. I don't agree on everything else you said. We'll come to that when we get there.
Okay.
But I do think Blood Angels should be an A tier, for sure.
Okay. Are we happy with behind AdMech for now, or?
Yeah.
Yeah, perfect. Okay. Well, we come straight back to the next Space Marine list, Black Templars. And I'll let you choose, Frog, Ben, who wants to start on how
Froggy
strong
first.
these are.
I did Blood Angels first, you did Black Templars first.
So I think that Black Templar Gladius at the moment, as it is right now, is the strongest Space Marine variant. From what I've seen so far, there's almost nothing that it cannot play against, which is always like a very strong factor for an army. You don't want to like have one or two matchups that are just horrible for you. And I've not yet heard of one that they can't play, which is really good.
Aeldari?
Debatable.
No.
Debatable.
It feels rough. I really wouldn't want to play against that.
Yeah. So my opinion is that Black Templars is S tier.
Okay. Okay, Ben, your counterpoint.
I don't want to disagree, hardly at least. I think Black Templars are, in my opinion, the top faction of A tier, but I'm fine with S tier. I think they need a points drop, a points hike. Sorry, the
20% at least, I
characters-
would say. 20%
generic
at least, guys.
characters are too cheap. Speaking of Castellan, Marshal, and the Emperor's Champion, the Repulsor Executioner could get a slight nerf, being it not getting rerolls in Overwatch or not giving itself rerolls. And I think if you get a hike of maybe 80 points so that you cut one unit and the Repulsor gets a nerf in his ability, then I think it's within A tier, maybe still top of A tier. I can live with it being S tier right now.
Excellent.
Well, I'm glad to hear it. I don't have much further to add, and I'm also happy to put it as our first S tier faction here. I also agree that it's probably the strongest Marines faction right now. That's for sure. Okay. Well, another lovely melee faction, our Adeptus Custodes. I think it's my turn, so I start. I haven't heard anything impressive about Custodes in such a long time. In fact, I would say like Atlanta, like winning Worlds was like the craziest thing they've done, which was quite the match.
And even at that time, it wasn't high in tier lists.
Exactly, it wasn't even strong there, and it was a great pilot. And the final match was a really bad matchup that they piloted very well and deserved the win. But so like I feel like Custodes just I'm not seeing them anywhere in teams. I'm not seeing them in any success in singles. I feel like everyone has an answer for them. No one's scared. Like whenever you go to pairings and you're like, oh, Custodes, everyone's like, okay, cool, sure. Like I know what they do. I know how to play this. Maybe sometimes you get scammed. Sure, it's what happens, but usually you win. So I would honestly feel like Custodes at the moment, I would say, are weaker than Astra, and I think Astra is bottom B or top of C. So I personally feel Custodes belong in C tier, which is fitting for them, right? C is for Custodes.
Yes.
So
yes.
Yeah, there's a little tear on my cheek as I say this, but it is what it is. Buff Custodes, please.
Yeah. I don't think the points drop they got are enough. That's the main. Like they got some love, but maybe not enough. Or Ben, do you disagree with our position here?
Now, I don't know Custodes enough to disagree, and right now, before seeing it played with the points drops, I would rank it C. So maybe they prove us wrong, but I don't think so.
Right. And one thing that I have to say is, like, I still think a Custodes player can absolutely win against a Black Angels player. Like,
yes,
it's not like, oh wow, you can't win. The game has become very balanced. So even between A and C tier, it's not as much as it used to be years ago between like even in a single tier difference, right? But I think C is good for them. All right, carrying on to our next Marine variant. This time the tanky melee boys, Dark Angels. Maybe let's go to Frog here, since you are also a Dark Angels player. Yeah, we're breaking up the order
We're breaking
here.
order. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Yes. So everyone knows I'm a big Lion enjoyer. Okay. Love me Lion. Love me Deathwing Knights. However, I have not felt like I could have more success with Dark Angels than with, for example, my Blood Angels or other Space Marine factions in quite a while. Not saying Dark Angels is bad, but I think there is quite a difference between where I would rank, for example, Blood Angels and where I would rank Dark Angels. So just to signal this difference, I would not put them in the same tier. I think it's very high B, but I would put them in B tier.
I could agree. I think if there is a worst Space Marine faction, maybe it should be Dark Angels. Because Space Marines are good because they are flexible, they strike where they want to strike, and they can adapt during the game. And Dark Angels has lists that are fitting to the style. Speaking of Company of Hunters. But the stereotypical Dark Angels list is Deathwing Knights with Stormlands or something like that, or even Wrath of the Rock. And I think that's just not flexible enough to keep up with the other Marine factions, so high B tier is totally fine for me.
Okay, I can absolutely go along with that. I also think just toughness stat check right now is hard to do because people bring a lot of damage to the lists. So Deathwing Knights feel a lot less tanky. Their Necron matchup got infinitely better.
Yes.
So that's nice.
Well, I will say one thing. I saw a list concept the other day on Discord. Actually, I guess it was today on Discord that I think might make Dark Angels go up, and that was, the Dark Shroud got more cheaper. That's the -1 to hit aura, basically. It's a stealth aura, and then you can run the Lion for up Fear No Pain aura, and then a 2-up save tank stat check with Fear No Pain, with stealth all the time, with cover all the time. Run Redemptors that got cheaper too with -1 damage. Maybe there's something to it. We'll see.
Yeah, I could see Dark Angel jumping up. Like the Lion double ability and the point drops. It's hard to evaluate if it's like how impactful it is. Like if someone would put them in A tier, I would still totally agree, but I think it's a good indicator to show the difference between them and maybe the other Space Marines. Yeah. All right. Next up, we have our lovely Grey Knights with their new codex. Very curious to see the opinions here because I think you could go a lot of directions with this. Ben, you think you're up? What's your
not
thought?
much experience with the new Grey Knights. I played against them 2 or 3 times, but it was with Black Templars, with a list I knew, and the Grey Knight player was trying something out. I think the Codex has a lot of really good rules. They're just scattered across the wrong detachments. So the rules that want to be played together cannot be played together. I think that's a big problem for Grey Knights. I definitely won't rank them S or A. Maybe I think they're better than Astra. I don't know. But yeah, it's not a strong opinion from my side because I've got not much experience, but I would rank them low B or high C. Yeah, that's just my gut thought.
Yeah, I think I can agree with that. We saw at the ETC this weekend, Innes have lots of success with Warpbane, and I know that the SetCheck group definitely also thinks that's it's very strong with Warpbane and Crow. But I'm not sure how good it is in singles specifically. I don't know how many bad matchups it has. I think it's a very polarizing list where I could see it having struggled hard into some armies. So I don't think Grey Knights belong in C tier, but I also think they belong in A tier, and that leaves not many options for me personally to put them in. So I'd put them probably in B, and I'd guess above Astra because I do feel like they have a bit more options specifically, and I'm not sure if the perfect list has been found yet. So I think there's lots of air to improve for Grey Knights left. Yeah.
I do agree, and I also already think that I want to put Astra down to see. I think
Should we do it?
Grey Knights in B. This looks correct. Yeah.
So we're more happy with this, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, Astra players. You got demoted. My bad. Okay. Now, speaking of a different type of knights who certainly do not belong in B tier, our lovely Imperial Knights. And of course, here we're speaking of the new codex, obviously. They just got some nice nerfs in the data slate, specifically the Valor Strike detachment, not having their stratagem work on all the knights, just one knight, not having advanced rerolls anymore. So their Alpha Strike potentially got reined in significantly.
Mm-hmm.
However, probably not their strongest detachment. They have a lot of power left. I'm curious to see if they are stronger, the same, or weaker than before the codex. They lost the Phenopane. Haverans, in my opinion, I think got a lot worse without the anti-fly and all. I mean, without the So I'm not sure if they're still S tier, but I mean at least A tier, right? Froggy, you are the expert here. Lend us your wisdom.
I do agree on it being good for the game that Valor Strike got nerfed. Valor Strike was the obvious stupid detachment. I also agree with you that there's power in different parts of the codex, like both Questoris Companions and Spearhead at Arms. I see a lot of potential. Questoris Companions has fallback, shoot and charge, which for Big Knight is oftentimes game changing. Many people did rely on tagging the Big Knights for their game plan to work. And in Spearhead, you mentioned the Hellring got a lot worse. In Spearhead, you can have them basically as strong as before, maybe even potentially better, depending on the exact thing you're shooting at. So we'll come to that later, but I think Chaos Knights is still better than Imperial Knights. But I think Imperial Knights is an A tier.
Ben, do you agree with it? Anything that you think is crazy talk?
No, I've got nothing to add. I think that's correct.
Okay, where in A tier do we think they are? Here, or here?
I don't know yet.
To me, AdMech is a wild guess, so I
Yeah.
would put him in front of AdMech.
Okay,
Yeah.
I would have put AdMech first, but it's a guest, so I agree.
It's also
We'll
these
see in the
three
end.
seem like already like a circular thing. I think Blood
Yes.
Angels wins against AdMech, AdMech wins against Imperial Knights probably wins
Yes.
against Blood Angels. I don't know.
Yeah, and BT is like, I'll take anyone.
Yeah.
AdMech might be a problem for them. I could see
I think-
AdMech lists that can beat Black Templars. I'd say that.
Yeah, maybe a point in favor of placing Imperial Knights first is that you don't have to bring special weapons to fight AdMech. You don't have to bring special weapons to fight Blood Angels, but you do have to bring special weapons to bring Imperial Knights. So having Imperial Knights strong is warping the other factions. So maybe that's the reason for placing them first.
Well, but also the fact that I think that both CK and IK are so strong means that the meta is ready for them and everyone is bringing the weapons. And I, for example, I definitely rank the rest of the factions with the thought in mind, well, can they beat IKCK? Can they beat Black Templar? Can they beat AdMech and all that stuff, right? I definitely think that's a big factor because the meta will still be knight heavy, right? So everyone has to be ready for them. And if you're not, like agents, well, that's bad for you. Or Astra even struggles too, right? So that's bad for you. That's an issue, right?
Maybe in the end, I will need to shuffle some. But for now, let's continue.
Absolutely. So the lovely Sisters of Battle. Sorry, no, this is Marines. My bad.
Codex Marines.
This is the loyal Codex compliant Marines. So of course, primarily Ultramarines, but also like your Raven Guard detachment, Salamanders, etc. By the way, do we assume that the new Salamander and Raven Guard detachments get the +1 to wound? Okay, we
I
assume
think we
that, right?
should do so.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, let's ignore
Because-
WTC's ruling on that.
I mean, I think
Yeah,
currently
I've got
raw,
enough-
it's correct that they don't get it, but it's not intended, I think.
Yeah, but I've got a
Yeah,
point.
absolutely.
Because the ruling that is against it is just an FAQ.
Yeah.
But in the army rule for Oath of Moment, it says if it's a Codex Space Marine detachment. And if you click on the app, Codex Space Marines, you get the new detachments. So
Yeah.
rules as written, they will get the buff. FAQ as written, they won't, but the FAQ is outdated. So
Yeah, that's true. I'm sure it will be updated. We all think so. Okay, so we do consider it. But what do you guys even think is like the best genuine loyalist Marines build right now? Do you think it's Raven Guard Salamanders, or is it just the usual Ultramarines?
I think it's probably still Ultramarines, just because their characters are so good. Sure, there's an argument to be made for the new Raven Guard detachment. I don't think there's an argument to be made for the new Imperial Fist detachment.
Yeah.
But I think I would still go with something like what Rusty played at Eurotrash, which is just a generalist Ultramarine list, as the best one. And I would rank that in B tier, I think.
Okay, Ben, what do you think?
I agree on being Ultramarines, maybe at least in the broad mass, the best one. I think it's just a matter of play style, if you prefer Raven Guard or Ultramarines or Salamanders. Where would you rank it in B tier?
I would rank it between Dark Angels and Grey Knights.
Okay. I would rank it in A tier, but behind Blood Angels. But it's not something my heart depends on.
Okay,
Then
I will
you
go
make
for
the
the
decision.
middle way of B tier, maybe above Dark Angels. Let's say that,
Sure.
yeah? This is
Sure.
the
Fine.
compromise for now, yeah?
That works for me.
All right, perfect. Because I do agree with what you say. I also think Ultimate is the best. I think it struggles against some armies, though. I'm not sure if it's better or worse than Dark Angels. I do think it's worse than Blood Angels. So there's that. Right, now we go to Sisters of Battle. They got a slight buff. Like we here, not we, Pencher. Retributors got cheaper again and have now both rerolls and +1 to the wound. That's nice to have. Some characters went down as well. Great. But are they strong enough in the current meta? I'm not sure. I'm seeing maybe two builds. One time is the like Sacrosanct wall, I guess, like 30 Sacrosants, which can really target people. The other is more of a classic build of, tanks and infantry. But well, we've seen how well that performed at ETC this weekend. Rough, very rough. I'm not sure. I feel like, again, considering that all the tiers are quite close together, I would not feel confident putting Sisters in the B tier together with Marines. So for me, they strongly belong in C tier. But what are your opinions? What are your opinions, guys?
I would have put them either bottom B or top C. Either is fine for me. I don't think they're particularly great, but they're also, yeah, actually, now that I think about it, I think bottom B feels more correct because I think the 30 Sacrosanct build has quite some lags. And especially, I guess we're not ranking for teams, but especially in teams context, I see that as a very valid build. I would put it bottom B, I think. But I'm also happy with C.
I think for singles, we should not consider the Sacrosancts because they are a really good teams list, I think. But in singles, you have too much counterplay. I think Hallowed Martyrs, if built and piloted correctly, is one heck of an army. And I would even rank it in A. but if you won't, I'm happy if we don't rank it in C.
Okay. And I can definitely live
just
with
think
not
if
having it in
there's
C.
a really good pilot with Hallowed Martyrs, he can go a long way. Fabian just played it and had in a 6-round tournament 1 draw and 1 loss. And the loss was against Sami, who played Chaos Space Marines and only lost 2 life, like I did. So it's not that he had a rough time navigating the field. So he got 2 good opponents he couldn't beat, but he has a really good performance with 4 wins and 1 draw.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and he showed what sisters are capable of. And maybe they didn't get a buff, but they didn't get worse either. They got a side grade maybe, or it is even a hidden buff. So that's my argument for putting them in A, but I'm fine with putting them in B. Maybe not the bottom of B, but
Yeah. But I don't feel comfortable putting them a tier above like Grey Knights.
No.
Because I think Grey Knights are. I think all the things you say about sisters also apply to Grey Knights, for example, where like Grey Knights have some good archetypes and a good pilot can really go a long way. I mean, Innis was crushing everyone actually this weekend as well. And also with like, I mean, I almost feel like the regular Marines and Dark Angels, yes, okay, I can see them maybe being better, but I'm happy to put them in B tier, that's for sure. I'm not too happy putting them in A tier, personally. Yeah.
Yeah, I understand your point, Ben, but I think that probably was an outlier, and they should be in B tier, in my opinion. And I wouldn't rank them above Grey Knights. Yeah.
Maybe here, but we'll see how B tier fills up and everything, and we'll see in the end. Because I totally understand your points, Ben. I can absolutely see it, and I also have lots of respect for sisters. Like when I face sisters lists, I always have to be okay. I know this will be a real fight, to be honest. But yeah, we'll see. Okay. Carrying on to our last Spaceman variant, the lovely Space Wolves with their Space Guard and their Space Wolf helmet and their wolf mantles and the wolf leaders and their wolf wives and wolf everything. And I hate Space Wolves so much. They're so stupid. Okay.
Don't forget the prime enemy. What was he called? Anti-wolf or something?
Oh, yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. Wolfbane or whatever. Or like
and anti-wolf Wolfbane.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wolfbane, whatever. Yeah, cool. Oh,
so,
my God.
Yeah, everything has to be called wolf, and I really hate them, but I still think they're quite strong.
Yeah.
They got nerfed quite substantially in the data slate, and they had already, compared to WTC, the FAQ that changed the Wolf Priest, which was, I mean, the Wolf Priest was stupid in Codex, so good they changed that. It remains to be seen how much impact the nerf will have. For now, I will put them below Blood Angels in A tier.
I'm fine with A. I think before the data slate, they were just up there with Black Templars. The Wolves got the nerfs the Black Templars need. And I don't care where in A, but I'm fine with being them in A.
Yep. I could even see them dropping further depending on how impactful the buffs, the nerfs really were. But for now, this is also exactly where I see them. Yeah. Okay. Next up, okay, cool. Moving on, Drukhari.
No discussion needed. We all agree. Stupid elves. Hate them. I hate them even more than I hate Space Wolves. Yeah, but let's have an actual discussion about this. I think Eldar, as mentioned in the other video we did, has the problem that it scales extremely well with player skill because they have so much mobility, they have so many tricks, they have so much damage, and their downside is that they're not tough. However, a great player can play around this weakness and utilize these strengths extremely efficiently and really almost play against everything and beat everything and get many points.
Yeah.
If a player is not able to use these tools that they have, then Aeldari will drop off quite quickly, in my opinion. However, we agreed on ranking things in the hands of the best player in the world. For example, in the hands of Leif Westermann, it feels so unfair to play against Aeldari every single time. That codex, since its inception, has so many layers, and I'm confident that it will need like 2 more nerfs at least before it will drop out of S tier. What's your guys' opinion?
If they
I
keep
cannot
making the baby
believe-
steps, if they keep making the baby steps while nerfing like they did right now, it would be like 8 more nerfs.
Yeah.
Yeah, imagine if they had gotten the Thousand Suns treatment this data slate, but they didn't.
Nope.
And yeah, the thing that you say about player skill, I mean, yeah, like we probably have one of the, if not the best Elder players in the world here at Zugzwang with life, and yeah, so it's rough. It is rough playing against him.
Extreme, like a very important argument. Aeldari is probably the best army against Knights in the game.
Yes.
Knights, if it's a like great Elder player, the Knight just cannot play that game unless the dice are incredible. So that already gives it like a super strong advantage into the field.
Yes,
absolutely. And they also can play against Black Templars and all the Marine variants they can play into. Curious to see AdMech. I have no idea about that matchup or about, like, let's say, like traditionally Elder was also like a skilled Elder player was always able to beat World Eaters, for example. I don't see that changing at the moment. Who knows? I don't know if I think the like Berserker spam list surely has an option there, but that has other issues in singles. So looking at singles, don't know how relevant that would be. And yeah, I really see Elder at the top. I have to say, it's a very strong army right now. The meta could change where Elder drops off, but the meta as it is right now is just one that Elder just thrives in.
Yep.
All right. Drukhari. The lesser elves.
The lesser elves?
I said that, yeah. Quote me on. You can quote me on that. You can quote me on that, guys.
Well, I guess Ben, what do you think?
We've got some players that shows the power of Drukhari, like Scurry or Pau. If we hadn't these players, I would rank Drukhari in C tier, I guess. But we have these players, and we face them regularly, being it in singles or teams events. It doesn't matter. They can bring their list without huge tweaks to either of those. So I think Drukhari is really strong right now. They will get a new codex. We will rank the Drukhari as of before the codex. And I think they belong in 2A tier.
I'm torn between bottom of A or top of B. It's, yeah, as you said, the extremely good Drukhari players can play almost into everything. I think that also goes for a really good Ultramarines or Dark Angels player, if they know what you're doing. And I think Drukhari doesn't have this option to, like, crush every matchup. Like, many armies in A tier can play almost every matchup. Space Wolves can play everything. Blood Angels can play everything. Of course, they have weaker stuff. But I think there's some matchups that Drukhari really struggled into. So I would put them into top of B, but I'm also happy with bottom of A.
Top of B would be fine for me. I just think Drukhari are better than generic Marines. If piloted at the same level.
Well, so for me, the thing is, if we have a Scary, and let's say instead of liking kinky torture elves, he loves Dark Angels and would play Dark Angels to the same extreme skill level as he plays Drukhari. I think he would also be winning the same amount of tournaments, maybe more, to be honest, maybe more. I don't know. So I really wouldn't like to put them in A tier, but I'm happy with B for sure. I see them in B, and if you want to put them on top of B, I'm okay with that.
No.
I'm okay with this for sure. All right. Now the next one is interesting. GSC. Previously, I had them high A. I mean, for singles, not high A, but good, right? Now, so Host of Ascension already had an issue in singles that it has some bad matchups, and especially it has many matchups that become very coin flippy, where who goes first, who goes second, does your job turn work or not, and it can really go either way. That list has gotten worse, significantly worse, so that's a nerf there. I'm not sure if Xenocrete has a good matchup into the meta. I personally think no. I don't see Xenocrete, for example, killing Knights. Correct me if I'm wrong, but if I remember right, like the hybrid metamorph bricks are not that great into super high toughness targets, actually. Could be wrong, but I'm thinking that. I don't think they could beat Black Templars. I'm sure Aeldari would be walking over them. So I don't know if they have a viable build right now that can play in the top tables. I'm not sure. Maybe some sicko like Innes or someone will find that one list that just crushes everyone again. Or maybe Paul decides to invest his time in GSC. But I don't see it right now. How about you guys?
Yeah, I agree. I don't feel like there's a super strong GSC build right now. I would put them in C tier. Prove me wrong, guys.
Ben, be the...
Not
be
we
the
are
voice
the
of
ones
reason.
that have to prove you wrong, because we got our good factions. We don't have to switch to Genestealer Cults.
Yeah, I meant the audience.
Yeah. My initial reaction was, oh my god, they killed Host of Ascension. I don't know if that's the right reaction. The stratagem for Uppy Downy is now more reliable than before. Yeah, it's not that oppressive as before, but it's more reliable, so you can plan on using your units more than once. The Primus nerf is one unit being nerfed because you at Blast you only played one Primus. The stratagem for 5-up critical hits, that's a huge nerf. But in my opinion, that's maybe the only thing that's really a huge blow.
Points.
Moins.
Yeah, no, but Fritchie is correct. Yeah, the Ridge Runner went up. The 500 bike squads went up.
Yes,
everything went up a lot.
Yes. How many points do I have to cut? 70, 80, 100?
If we like 70 or 60 to 70, I would say, right?
And most of Genestealer Cults just had a unit that was just around that was like, oh, I've got some points spare. I don't know what to buy. I buy this unit. And now they just cut it.
But it does hurt them, right? Like
yes,
it hurts them.
Of course, it is a nerf, but I don't think it's C tier. I think Genestealer Cult is still really good playable.
You know, in singles already before this, I don't think they were above B tier because there are some matchups that they just auto lose and there's nothing you can do, like Blood Angels, like Space Wolves. You know, just pressure, you just lose. And now yes, the Primus nerf only hits one unit, but that was by far the biggest damage output unit. They really relied on that to kill priority targets. They can't do that anymore now. And yes, the Uppy Downy strat is now more reliable for small action units. but it means that once you commit one of your damage units, it's most likely gone. There's no way you can say, hey, against an army that cannot one-tap my damage unit, I can recycle it. Because you need to show your whole unit with GC to do damage. It's not like you only need to show a few models. You really need to show the whole brick, use all the guns. You can't really hide it or string it out to do the damage. So I don't think it should be in B tier. I think it should be in C tier.
Yeah, I also have to say, like, I'm also someone who always has I'm always very scared of GSC, like coming from Demons, where all the little pistols just annihilate anything they touch. But I'm keep getting proven again and again, especially from other GSC players, that the army is quite struggling in singles. I think in teams especially there's a lot of potential, and I mean Innis just won the not won, well, got second place at the War Masters and everything with it, right?
Yes.
But I'm just not too comfortable putting them in B. I'd rather put them in C because I feel like Sisters has more play than GSC, for example. And I think Astra also is still good enough. Like, and Nassim will still perform great on Astra, right? Like, but I just see it in C tier, if I'm being honest. Top of C for sure for me, but I'd rather see it there than in B.
Let's put it top of C, and we will revisit it
Yes.
at our next tier list, and then we will consult the win rates from now on.
Yes.
Yeah, this is definitely one of the armies where I'm the least sure, and I'm happy to be proven wrong here for sure. Yeah, and could definitely be way different.
Get in the comments, tell us that we're wrong. It's okay.
Yeah. Okay. Well, next up, we have the Necrons, who also had a very interesting change with the Silent King aura going from ignore modifiers now to +2 movement. A side grade, I think we agreed in the last video. But quite the change. It also had some cheaper Praetorians, whatever, and the Silent King dropped 20 points. So I think the faction itself didn't change too much. Maybe the question is more like, how does Necrons play into the meta right now? What do you think? Maybe Ben?
I think Necrons are pretty good. But they've got also some matchups that are very hard for them. I think like 20 Berserkers, maybe. Do they kill the 20-man Necron warriors? I think it's at least close to.
They annihilated.
They annihilated. Sure. I didn't make the math because I don't play World Eaters and I don't play Necrons.
Yeah, they annihilated.
I know that Sword Brethren do not kill them, and Repulse Executioner also does not kill them. And this is a really hard matchup for Black Templars from my perspective. But I acknowledge that Necrons have matchups that are very uphill, and I think even being them very good, I would rank them in B tier. Maybe middle of B somewhere.
Yeah, I think I agree on B tier. Necrons is a weird faction. Many teams still take down in teams context. I know we don't talk about teams context specifically, but it just shows that there is potential to the army. Gito, for example, showed with Necrons at the Eurotrash last weekend. He won all 5 games. There is definitely strength in it. And the Warrior Brick is something to watch out for, but there's also still the classic Doomsday Arc artillery with Silent King. I think Silent King going down 20 points is significant. But it's also not an army that I kind of feel I can't play against. It always feels like, oh, Necrons, interesting. It's going to be a game. I think that's like the essence of a B tier army. Somewhere in the middle of B, don't really care where exactly.
Yeah. Like Necrons, like their strength is that they always have a game against everyone, but also that's kind of their weakness because they don't crush anything. I mean, they crush some things with the Necron build, yes, but almost nothing, right? They just have such a balanced army. And Necrons will always have a decent win rate and will always have a decent reputation because you can't win most matches that you play. But well, yeah, B tier.
Mm-hmm.
How about here?
Sure.
Looks good. We take it. Next up, another army that is probably a bit middle of the pack, Tyranids. So I'm happy to see that my assessment of the tunnel nits was correct, which is cool, but whatever, right?
Mhm.
Some people were really hyped that it's super strong and crazy powerful. I was always thinking, I mean, sure. Don't know if it's stronger than Invasion Fleet or Vanguard. And we see that. There's very few Tyranids being played, I have a feeling, both in singles and teams. We see a mix of Tunnel Nits or Invasion Fleet. And they're doing okay, but are they really not winning anything, are they?
No.
How do you see the faction?
I agree with you. I think Invasion Fleet is still the best way to play Tyranids, and it's not very inspiring. It has the same tricks it always had. Exocrines shooting with assault lethal hits will do a lot of damage. Tyrannofexes are annoying. They have a lot of OC and small stuff, but I'm never really super afraid when I see Tyranids on the table. I think they belong in C tier.
Yeah, I could agree. There are players that get good results with nits, but I think these players that get good results with nits would get even better results with a lot of other factions.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I totally agree.
So no disrespect towards the players. Contrarily, a lot of respect towards the players for getting good results with Tyranids.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Okay, one of you has to take over for Orks because I'm so unsure about where they will be. Yeah, take it away, one of you. I don't know.
Ben.
Better than before.
Yes.
Right. How about be like better?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm not confident enough to put them into A tier yet because I haven't seen it.
Yes.
And before they clearly weren't A tier, right? Clearly.
Yeah. No. Before they were C tier.
They got buffed.
Yes.
They got buffed quite a bit. I have no idea how it will turn out on the table. And I'm not of course we could make a bold statement and put them into A tier. I'm not confident enough to put them there yet.
Yeah.
I would put them somewhere in high B.
Yes, I would agree. And maybe we are wrong. Maybe they are better, but we haven't seen it. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, well, I'm glad I let you guys take it away. I think I would have dumped them straight back to C because I think Orks were the actual, by far worst faction in the past 3-4 months. Like
Agents.
If we don't count
we don't count
Agents
as a faction, okay.
Right, like I think Orks were in the past balance window, like actually like here.
Yes.
Like if I'm being honest, like here, not C tier, but like actually D tier.
Yeah, I agree.
I have no idea how good the buffs are, to be honest. The buffs were very kind of confusing to me. I didn't see clear, super strong here. I know there were a lot of buffs. But maybe we can compromise and put them like here, like bottom of B?
Sure.
Go ahead.
Because I'd be so uncomfortable putting them like above, let's say, Sisters, for example, right?
You know what? I think if Aeldari got played more, Orks would be better.
Oh yeah, 100%.
That's a point. Yeah, I'm happy
100%.
with this for now. We'll have to see in the end.
Okay.
How the meta shapes up, and maybe all the Orc players out there are now warring at us. Coming for us.
And maybe that's my fault.
Maybe put it in the comments how wrong Mosbach is. That's okay. And then beat us at tournaments, and then you get a high five. Yes.
But I don't count because I keep losing at the moment, so I don't count. Okay.
Yes. You're washed up.
Everyone does what he can do best. So.
Yes.
Another army that got buffs. Yeah. Tau Empire.
Indeed. Indeed.
What do you think, Niklas?
Well, Glyn is, in my opinion, like the best Tau player. Glyn has been performing really well with it. And Riptide's going to strength 10 will make him very, very, very happy. But I also think Glyn is a phenomenal player. And he would do very well with everything. Tau, I feel like, unfortunately, I don't think it's enough to flip the matchups that much. I think I'm sure the win rate will go up like at least 2-3% from this buff. Personally, I think those Riptide buffs are significant, and then 20 more points is great. But still, I don't see them being strong enough to hang with the armies that we see in A or also B tier. Like they can hang, everyone can hang with everyone. The game is very balanced. But I'd put them either with Orks at the bottom of B or top of C. I'm also very uncomfortable having them above GSC, and Astra, but also GSC and Astra are not good. So it's really hard right now for me. Yeah.
I would make the point that we did say we're gonna rank them for the best player in the world, and Glyn has won multiple tournaments with Tau. So I'm not comfortable in C tier. I would put them, somewhere in the region of Grey Knights, Sisters, Orks. That I feel is correct.
Yep.
Yeah, I think that's fine.
I'm happy with that. Do we think above Orks or below Orks?
Really depends to be seen.
I say above Orks.
Okay. You're a certified Orcator.
Oh yeah, I am quite the Orcade at the moment. Yeah, I am happy to be proven wrong.
But what about the Stomper though?
Stomper actually right here.
As
because
like
Eldar crushes him. But,
all right. Take a screenshot, everyone. Take a screenshot.
Yes, right now. All right.
Yeah.
Next up. Okay, let me take this one. Votann. Worse than agents needs minimum 20% points cast across the whole faction. At least.
Yes,
to be
maybe
somewhat playable. Otherwise,
maybe
no way of doing this. Sorry.
No way. No.
Okay, Chaos Knights. What do we think about that?
First of all, I think Tim Schneider doesn't know anything about balance. That's the first thing I want to say.
That's why we banned him from tier list videos. And
yes, that's why he's not on this tier list
anymore.
Don't listen to his opinions on Votann.
No, I mean he's changed his mind, right? And
yes,
when the Codex came out and he played his first, let's say, 20 games and his opinions, he was crying all day about how horrible this faction is. He's talked with all the experts. He's played so many games. There's nothing that works. It's such a trash army. And at some point he figured out how to play them, and he figured out good lists, and now it's really great. And if you want to get some good advice on Votann, like from Tim himself, you can check out, I think, what is it, Fireside Masterclasses.
How about the Zugzwang special 3-part series?
Zugzwang special Votann
on Votann.
Yes, check out the Zugzwang special Votann series on Votann, where he and Niels are breaking down all the good changes we've had here, which is very nice. But yeah, Tim initially had some absolutely cooked views on this codex. I'm glad he got over that point. Yes,
he changed his mind. He admits that his opinions were wrong. And first tournament he went 5-0. Won. He went second technically, but he beat some quite like good players.
He played. He beat Black Templars.
And he beat also Grisha.
Didn't he beat Grisha? Yeah, he beat Grisha, right? Yeah, which is
so.
Great,
I don't know, but maybe top of B or something like that. Maybe
Let's
even
put it in
bottom
A. Put it
Maybe
in A.
bottom A. Yeah.
Just for the distribution, we've got one Xenos in S. That would be our only Xenos in A. We've got a crowded B tier. So yeah,
I'm happy with this.
Yeah, I also really think they belong in A tier, to be honest.
Okay.
I think you have some really good options and lists there. Yeah, I really think so. I think Votann is wrong. Okay. And again, for more detail, check out our Votann videos on the Zugzwang YouTube channel.
Yes.
There are like 3 hours of content there. Very detailed.
but they are
All right.
German.
They are in German.
True, they are German. If you want them in English, there's other resources where Tim has shared his opinions.
Yes.
Moving on finally to Chaos. Thank goodness. I'm happy. Starting
Me
with
too.
the beautiful Chaos Knights, and I'll give it to the beautiful Niklas to give us his expert opinion on these.
S tier.
So my job is done.
Yes.
All right, Ben, what's your opinion?
No, I have some more takes. I don't care if it's like above Black Templars or below Black Templars. Definitely below Aeldari. Yeah, Chaos Knights. And especially, I'm talking about Infernal Lands. When I speak about Chaos Knights, I'm talking about Infernal Lands. I think there's quite a gap between that detachment and the other detachments. And specifically, builds using the spoilers and carnivores have an answer to almost anything. There's really only a very few profiles that the spoilers with double Gatling guns are not good against. And namely, that's like T12 2-up save. But you need to have both. If you're just one of them, you still kill them. And still against that, the army has ways to kill them with carnivores in melee, for example, or just enough despoilers with lethal hits will also kill your tank, right? So it's such an oppressive stat check. I just played it at Eurotrash and dropped 5 points in total. It's crazy strong. It got slightly touched in the data slate, but in my opinion, that's really a small nerf, and it does not push them out of S tier in any way.
Yeah.
Yes.
So one thing I would like to add here is that I think, so before the West matchup was Aeldari, which is like unwinnable if the enemy is strong. Now I feel like both Admech and World Eaters could become new, very strong predators for CK. And IK, of course, as well. So I'm curious to see if those 2 armies can keep the Knights in check. Because now, if we think, for example, about 8-man teams, which of course not the main thing here, if a team has Aeldari, Admech, World Eaters, your Knights are going to look really, really sad, right?
Potentially.
And then maybe, I'm not sure. Exactly. We don't know yet. Of course, you have the most kind of insight on that, but I feel like this could be a really rough time. And I wonder also in singles. I mean, you won't see that many Admech players just because, well, it's Admech. But I feel like you could see a lot of World Eaters players, and I'm curious to see how that matchup really is. Because maybe it's not as bad as it looks on paper, because you as CK have enough resources also to go a trading match without just letting all the 8 bounds hit your Knights, right? But I'm curious to see if maybe this will kind of keep Knights in check a little bit. We'll see.
Yes. I do agree on that. Knights traditionally have a very skewed matrix. There's some matches that they stomp, and there's some matches that they just can't play at all. And if there's too many top meta armies that they just can't play against, then sure, they will stomp everyone below them, but they're also never going to win a tournament.
Yeah, because basically for the past meta, only Eldar was like the real horror match. Everything else was at least playable, right? I mean, GSC was like dicey and everything, right? But
Chaos Knights had okay game into GSC too.
Right, exactly. Chaos Knights were okay, right? Yeah. So we'll see. We'll see if this is the case. or not? Yeah. Is this something you agree with, Ben?
Yes.
Perfect.
Yeah, I don't think I have to add a whole lot. It's like I played Chaos
Alrighty.
Knights last weekend with Black Templars. It was a close one. Reavers won the day for me, forcing battle shocks on carnivores.
Nice.
Battle shocks, so important.
Yes.
And
Battle
it was
shocks are-
the triple despoiler and carnivore list. So
Mhm.
not a bad list, a close game, and yeah, I think S tier is quite good. We agreed before that it's above Imperial Knights, so
Yep.
Yeah, I agree with this. Okay, moving on to Chaos Space Marines. I'll take the lead here. I just had a very middling run with them at ETC. I had a lot of fun with it. CSM didn't get many changes. The main change is that Curse Cultist with Dark Commune went up 10 points, which is a unit that you see in Renegade Raiders, in Chaos Cult, like Shadow Legion. You see them a lot of CSM variants. The other variants you have is usually the Veterans of the Long War list, something that Liam VSL, for example, is running. He had a great one with it at ETC, but to be honest, he's had success with this Veterans list for like 1.5 years now. Pretty much unchanged, if I'm being honest. So that's just something he's really good at. We got a small buff again because actually WTC ruled that you can't shoot indirect with oblets if you don't see a target, because read as written, that is definitely how that works, unfortunately. It got changed now. So CSM got an FAQ update where oblets can now shoot indirect again. That's great.
Yep.
Very happy about that. So
Yes.
that list is playable again. So I think they are, for me, still strong, have playing lots of options. They're pretty good, many options still in that codex. And I personally see them somewhere around A or B. I'm not sure where exactly. I could see them kind of only being B tier, but I'm also happy to see them in A tier. What do you guys think on it?
I would rank them in A tier, and that's not data-based because I think they are criminally underplayed, at least in Germany at the moment. But every time any good player plays Chaos Space Marines, he gets good results, be it Malta, be it Asami when he chooses to play a tournament, be it Berades. So if they touch CSM, they get results.
Nope, not you.
No. You're
First, you have to get results.
CSM player. You're a team player. And we don't have to get blinded by the lack of results from CSM. It's a lack of playing CSM. I don't know where it comes from, but I think they are still very strong.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure. And for me, for example, like I've been playing Chaos Cult a little bit. I haven't had too much practice with it, unfortunately, but every game I can just feel the strength of that list. And we saw it also with Forger Pilots for Team USA at WTC that it's a strong list, but of course hard to play. And Renegade Raiders, the Veterans of the Long War, so many options, and they can adapt really well to many metagames. So I'd also see CSM comfortably in A tier. I'm happy with that. Do we think bottom A, middle A? I'm not sure if they're better than like Space Wolves and Blood Angels.
No, I don't think so.
Maybe like here or here.
I would put them before Votann, personally.
Yeah,
me
okay,
too.
I'm happy with that. I'm very happy with that. Okay, next up, Chaos Demons.
You just do it
maybe
again.
I break the order and I just go again. So, Chaos Demons. Very interesting spot, I think. So a couple months ago, I was still putting Shadow Legion like all the way up there, up to S tier. I don't think that's the case anymore, certainly. Not because Shadow Legion got specific nerfs. I mean, they technically lost 10 points, which my list hurts a lot actually because of that. At exactly 2k, and there's no room to really wriggle around. You have to downgrade a piece of Nurgle, which really sucks. But Shadow Legion in general, the meta is very clearly screamers don't survive against most things that we see here. So that set check doesn't really work. Bloodthirst is still very risky, so it can play against most things, but it's a hard time. Admech is really rough matchup. Then your Votann I can also see really being a struggle for this as well. So I do feel like Shadow Legion has dropped. I could still see it in A personally, but it has definitely dropped. In the meantime, the other detachments I think are looking really rough. To be honest, with Demonic Incursion, I wouldn't touch Demonic Incursion with a 10-foot stick at the moment. You have a ton of skill expression in Demonic Incursion, so many people are still like playing it and having great success with it. But there's a reason why you don't really see it at top tables, or why no top teams ever take it. It's because if you have an equally skilled opponent and he's playing Aeldari, GG, you can't win. If he's playing any of the Knight variants, GG, you cannot win. If he's playing Admech, GG, you cannot win. And the list goes on, to be honest. Incursion Knights has horrible matchups in the top armies right now. Don't play it if you want to have a real chance of winning. You can always scam people to win with the inwards and everything, and it has a lot of skill expression, but really bad matchups. And for the other detachments, Slanesh got buffed, but I highly doubt it's good enough to be stronger than like Shadow Legion or other opposing armies. Plague Legion always has an option, especially in teams. I don't see it in singles, unfortunately. It does have some really bad matchups. Tzeentch is the best army in the game, so it would be unfair to put it on this tier. It's an S+ above all the others.
Yes.
And Khorne would be around Agents. So, you know, I think we have to go by Shadow Legion.
That's ranked Shadow Legion, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm still happy to put them like bottom of A, but I could also actually see them at top of B at this point. But I'd rather see them A, I think. What's your opinion?
I'm more comfortable with them in A than in B tier. I think if you would take them up again, you would still perform quite well, and that hasn't changed. Yeah.
Yeah, I think the Bloodthirster still being able to carry the up down the enhancement is what puts Shadow Legion in A.
Yeah.
Yes. It's
I'm
just
so
silly.
surprised this didn't change. It's such an unhealthy, unfun mechanic, right? Like, I don't know.
Well,
okay.
The 4 legions.
The
Indeed.
4 horsemen.
First of all, D like
kick us
Death
off.
Guard.
Yeah. Straight to Agents, right?
Death Guard is D tier.
Yes.
Okay. Death Guard, they were S tier before, no questions asked. They've got quite a nerf. Being more than 10% points hike. I think at least the type of list I've played before, which was trading efficiently, choosing where to put which amount of damage, choosing where to bait the opponent or to have the opponent make bad trades, is not as playable as before anymore, because now you've got 3 units less. That being said, I think you can reinvent Death Guard. I think Shambalrot Victorium has not been touched that much and could be still pretty good. I think you can find a lot of spaces that haven't been touched because they haven't been played much before, but are still good. Like maybe you shift to Predators, maybe playing GW terrain, you try Defilers, which are a heck of a stat line. Mortarion was okay before, hasn't been touched. The Mini Mortarion was okay before, hasn't been touched. I think
that's
Death
the
Guard has
Phenopane Demon Prince, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think it has play. I think it's far from as good as before. I would rank it in top of B. I know you would disagree. I just let me say, when the nerf came out, I said Death Guard will drop to 45% win rate. At least in Germany, Death Guard are at 45% win rate right now. That would indicate for bottom of B, maybe top of C. But a lot of good Death Guard players went away from Death Guard. I don't know. If I didn't have, or wouldn't have as much fun as I have with Black Templars, I would explore Death Guard more, and maybe I would get some results. I wouldn't rank it an A, but maybe the future proves me wrong. Because I think you can find a list that's A tier. I don't think if you just cut points out of the list you are already playing, it will be A tier.
So
Okay.
I think if you just take the French WTC list and cut out some points, you're still at least middle of A tier. That list is extremely strong, and having to drop 1 unit of Death Shroud probably from the list or something else does not suddenly make it middle of the pack B tier. I will still be very cautious and afraid when I play against it. I've seen it have very good success for Kevin in the weekend at Eurotrash. And I will go on a very big protest if we put it anywhere below A tier. What do you think, Mosbach?
I'm sorry, Ben, but my religion forbids me from putting Death Guard in B tier. That is absolutely not an option we have here.
Which
It's
religion?
definitely A. I don't know. But the religion of Be'lakor, of course. No. Let's say the lowest I'm willing to go is here. This is the lowest that I'm willing to go.
I would even go one up above Space
Yes,
Wolf.
that's also what I would like to do. I would like to put him here.
Yes. Please. This is the lowest I'm willing to go.
In fact, when we first were okay, now we talk about Death Guard, I was like, is it top of A or is it bottoms S? I was like, probably let's put it top of A, but it's still so strong. So now I heard top of B. I have to say,
not gonna happen.
Got a little heart attack, Ben.
Just let us revisit in a few weeks.
Yes.
Just us three, and look at the results. Maybe I'm wrong.
For sure.
Maybe you are wrong.
Here we go.
We can for sure do that.
I played with Black Templars against Death Guard.
Yeah, but Black Templars is
2
also
weeks ago,
extremely
something
strong.
like that, against a relatively good player in Germany, fighting Death Guard, and I was like, oh, I'm so sorry, but I know about the weaknesses of Death Guard. I will show them to you. And it was 20-0. So
yeah, Black Templars can 20-0 many armies though.
At that slope, yes.
Look, Ben, I can definitely see your point, and I'm curious to see where they really end up. And they might be lower than this, but I'm just much more comfortable with this, with what I'm seeing right now. We'll see. All right.
It's fine.
we know that we have the different opinion there. Emperor's Children, though, I mean, Fulgrim can now walk over small WTC ruin cards, which is pretty poggers. He also dropped 25 points, which is actually pretty nice. Yep. And Flawless Blades have one attack more from 3 to 4, which is actually a really great tool for them.
Yes.
Froggy, as our EC player, where do we see them?
So, Emperor's Children have, since their codex, always been strong, right? There's yet to be a time where they are not strong. They had a big problem with Knights, which really made it uncomfortable for many people to take them to singles events, because basically it was an automatic loss if you had to play against both knight versions, because you just can't kill the big knights. Flawless Blades going up, this is my hot take, actually fixes this problem a little bit. Which means they can now play against knights. I did some rough calculations, and if you attach Lucius to a 3-man Flawless Blade unit, they do about 28 damage to a big knight on average. So if you shoot them a little bit, you do some grenade a little bit, you can definitely kill a big knight with not investing like 4 big units at once, right? Which really helps. I would rank, this being said, they have always been strong. Their weakness got a little bit better now. I would rank them around where Death Guard is, I think, in this current metrics.
Here, I would also say that also Death Guard was a really tough matchup too for UC. And they, no, Ben?
Ben
It was an even
disagrees.
matchup. Well, in my games, it was an even matchup. Maybe I'm just a bad Death Guard player, but I only I always had very close matchups against
Obviously.
Empress
No.
Children.
Right. But I also see them I personally also see them in A tier for sure. I think it really helps that knights are more playable for them now. That's huge. They are one of the few armies that have a really decent Aeldari matchup.
Yes.
So that's massive, I think, to have. And yeah, they can play against anything. They are strong. They didn't get, they got 10 more points as nerf, which, that does hurt them because their lists are getting really tight on points, but they'll have 10 points they can adapt. On the Flawless Blade buff, I think not just for knights, but also as this like early trading unit, like, hey, I want to kill these 5 Marines reliably behind the wall without sending my lord. Well, Flawless Blades should do that now, which that's super helpful, right?
Yes.
So I think it really helps with the usual culture list to maybe swap something out for some Flawless Blades. I think it's very powerful, so I'm also happy putting them in A. How about you, Ben? Yep. And to make Ben happy, let's put them in front of Death Guard, yeah?
Sure.
No. I said they are even. Just put them together.
Okay.
Yeah, I would put them, I don't care. They should belong together. Maybe Blood Angels should be above the 2, but
let's do it.
Yeah, something like that looks good to me.
Now, one thing that's very interesting is the next one. 1,000
D
Suns.
tier.
Fuck them. Worse than the Agents. So previously, many would say S or A. Where do you see them now, Frog?
They got really like triple nerfed. Probably double nerfed is the correct term. I guess the army rule got nerfed, the best detachment got nerfed, and the points got nerfed. So that's a triple nerf.
Sure. Yeah, you can say that.
I think now the Terminator list is probably the best thing you can play in that codex. And even that has a problem not having reliable plus AP, not having reliable hit rerolls, not having reliable extra move. I'm not confident. Of course, they're not D tier, but maybe low B tier.
Yes.
Yeah. I had a phone call with Malte yesterday a little bit to talk about the factions we play for the Prague tournament. And then I said,
Can you leak it?
Yeah. And I said, like, just play your T-Sons, right? Just play the Termies. Malte began laughing a little bit. I said, just roll. Just succeed on your rituals, man.
Yeah, just do it.
He saw, oh, you're right. And now he's playing T-Sons Termies. So, no, I'm happy to put them somewhere in B.
I think low.
How about you,
Yeah,
Ben?
yeah. I put them below.
Below
Orks.
Sisters, below Orks. Yep. Maybe even C tier.
I don't think C tier, but yes, it's low B. I think the Terminator list has been very strong before. Got a hit. I don't think the hit was very huge, but it was a hit. So
Oh, it's big hit.
I think it was extremely big.
It's a pretty big hit, I think.
Yeah.
Because they really rely on these rituals. Like, they really need the 6-inch move. They really need the AP. They really need the rerolls to really become like.
Yeah.
I mean, they are okay with the ones to hit, I guess. But it's not that much, right?
You want to fish
But,
for results, I think.
I'm vetoing putting them
Okay.
below Orks.
Just to let me get this straight. T-Sons are bad because they need the full hit rerolls and they don't rely on them. How about Black Templars? They can't rely on full hit rerolls either. So
they
that's
can't
the
rely on full hit rerolls. Okay, I'm sorry.
Okay, let's
Ben
talk
is
about something
now
else.
Muted.
Ben is
Alright,
muted.
let's carry on.
Excellent. Good job. Sorry. No,
Okay,
but
no. What do they have to roll to get the rerolls?
to get full hit rolls, I think it's a 10.
10 with 3 dice.
2 plus 1, yeah, depending on.
Yeah. Black Templars have to roll 6 with 2. It's a little bit easier.
6 with 2 is a lot easier.
It's a little bit easier.
No, 6 with 2 is like
it's a lot easier.
6 with 2 is about 22% chance to fail it.
Yes.
At 10 on 3 is 50-50.
It's like 53% or 55%, right? Something like that.
Yeah, because of the the way the distribution works.
Yeah.
Okay. Still, Black Templars can't rely on it.
Sure. World Eaters.
Yeah.
Now, World Eaters is an army. World Eaters is an
that's
army that was
baby.
already good. It had the problem that basically it only had one good data sheet. 2 with Forge Fiends, right? It had Berserkers and Forge Fiends. And then the characters are also good, of course. And Spawn were good, but okay.
Yes.
For actual like
Spawn.
units. But their elite units, like Assaulted 8-bound, like 8-bound, etc., were just not good, which led them into this very one-dimensional playstyle. That was great in teams, the Berserker spam, maybe not so good in singles. However, that got fixed. And there wasn't any nerfs to the things that were already good. I guess there were some points drops to Forge Fiends and Karn. Fair enough. You're not going to see Forge Fiend spam anymore. But I think the Exalted 8-bound change specifically makes that army really busted. I think that army has really good play into Knights now. I mean, the jury is open whether it actually is a high win for World Eaters or just a game. I don't know yet. We'll have to see. But they have no problems killing big Knights now. For me, they go straight to S tier.
Okay, Ben. You are unmuted, by the way. You can talk again.
I don't want. No. S tier is quite high.
Mm-hmm.
That being said, they were good before. Maybe they are S tier. I don't think I've got solid arguments or solid points against S tier.
Right, because I'm also thinking, how do they perform against the other, like, let's say, S and A tier armies, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's looking good for them.
Yes.
I think Black Templars win against World Eaters still. At least they did win against it before. Eldar against World Eaters is a game, I think. But other than that, yeah, it looks pretty strong.
Yeah, because they definitely beat all the melee Marines, like EC, Death Guard including.
I think EC is a game because you have the Noise Marines that are really good against World Eaters. I think that's a game, but yeah.
I mean, I think all of them are games. I think World Eater never has like this auto win against any of these. But the good chances in that game, let's say that for sure.
Yes.
Well, I'm not sure if they are like S tier or like high A. That's the issue. I'm not.
For me, definitely above IK.
Let's put in first of A.
Mm-hmm.
Because in my mind, S tier should be reserved for the meta-defining armies, and it shouldn't be that full.
I can go with that.
This looks
fine
maybe
to me, yeah.
maybe from the power level, World Eaters could belong there.
Mm-hmm.
Just to keep the S tier small.
Yeah, I do agree, because World Eaters have to prove it, I guess.
Yes.
We have to see. It's a little bit like I feel like AdMech could very well become S tier. Personally, I'm very I'm personally more terrified of AdMech than World Eaters, for example. But I don't know. AdMech has to prove it, and similar with World Eaters. But definitely World Eaters are very, very strong.
Yes.
Okay. All right. We've ranked all of the factions, guys. Very nice.
One thing that's very clear is Chaos is OP.
It's the year
Chaos
of Chaos.
is
So
pretty strong. It's the year of Chaos. True. It's a good year to be a Chaos player, except if you're a little nerd who likes to cast spells and stuff.
Magic!
But to be fair, Imperium has very balanced. Everything is quite balanced, right?
Yes.
I guess
yes.
Xenos are a little bit.
The hive mind is doing a bit bad, but other than that, yeah.
Okay.
The next tendril is coming.
Are there any changes you want to make? Let's start with you, Ben. Is there something here you'd like to move around? And no, we can't put Death Guard in B tier.
No.
No. I still think GSC could be stronger that we ranked it. We have to see, because there were huge changes. We had a reasoning behind putting Tyranids in C tier, and I think I'm fine with most of the rest as it unfolded right now. Yeah, we got A and B tier almost equal from the number of armies, which I'm very pleased with. Yeah, and the majority of armies is an A and B tier. That's also, I think, quite fitting. So
yes,
yeah,
it's
absolutely.
A sign of good game design.
Yeah,
and for me, the main struggle is like the low B, high C area. All of these armies, I'm so unsure of if they really belong there, because all the time I'm thinking, well, but they can fight A tier factions, where they can have good games and everything, which for me really shows how balanced it is. Like, really.
I think we could even cut the D tier and put all the C tier armies behind Orks in B tier, and being Agents C tier. That wouldn't be wrong too, I think.
Yeah.
The transitions are fluid. So
we have to be a bit provocative, right? We have to be.
Yeah.
It's the essence of a good tier list.
And to be honest, I don't want Knights and Custodes in the same tier as Sisters and Grey Knights.
Especially not
I
Custodes.
don't want that. I don't want Knights Custodes up there, to be fair.
Yeah.
I could see, like, I could see GSC Astra moving up to B, and then Knights Custodes Agents being in C. I could see that personally, but I think it's okay to have the 5 tiers. Agents truly are not an army right now.
It's totally okay. I was just saying, because the transitions are such
it's true.
fluent thing. So
it's very, very true. You're very correct on that.
The less armies you have in one tier, the more obsolete the tier feels. So
totally.
I think this is
great. It's hard to do tier list right now, but I'm happy. I don't see anything I want to actually move, but I can justify moving. Let's say that. Great job. There you have it, everyone. This is the definitive tier list.
Yes.
Everything here is
objectively correct.
Exactly. On empirical data.
Yes.
You will see all the numbers will agree with us, because we will threaten the stat check guys to to make everything correct. No other tier list has any relevancy. This is the only one you need. And tell us in the comments how correct and awesome we are, and how much we've opened your minds to see that yes, orcs are indeed terrible, and yes, Custodes is the worst normal army in the game, even though you've been having success with them. We're happy that we showed you the truth.
Yes.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Cool. Well, with that, thank you everyone for watching. I hope it was as much fun for you as it was for us. I've had a wonderful time with you, Ben, with you, Frog. And make sure to check out our reactions to Dataslate. Make sure to check out all the wonderful content we've been dropping. And stay tuned for more content in the future. And hit that like button, smash subscribe, share it with your grandma, follow us on Instagram at Zugzwang_40k, listen to this on Spotify at Zugzwang_40k, talk to us at tournaments if you see us, give us in the comments what you like, what you don't like, if we should continue with this English content, or if you like to see it in German, etc., etc. Anything else to say from you?
This was amazing.
Perfect.
Let's do it again.
Yes.
Perfect. With that, have a wonderful rest of your days. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Das war's mit dieser Folge von Zugzwang. Wenn es dir gefallen hat, abonnieren, kommentieren, teilen. Ihr kennt das Spiel. Folgt uns auf Instagram, YouTube und Spotify unter @Zugzwang40k.